let's get right to it because I think that, you know, this is one of those things that you say, really? So, okay, our first story of the day involves an actor that basically he is an icon. I think he's one of the best actors, not only of this generation, but of all time. And I'm talking about Al Pacino. Al Pacino is just amazing. And he's one of those actors now that I want to say he's in his 70s, okay? Late 60s, early 70s. Incredible actor. Um, but when you listen to him and what he says sometimes, it's interesting. So there's two stories about him. I'm going to do the first one, the latter, the easier of the two first. I'd like to get people's opinion on this in the comment section. Um, so basically, the this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, and he said Al Pacino thinks the first Godfather is quote more entertaining than Part Two, and he says it's really storytelling at its best. So let's dive right into this and see what everybody's thoughts are about this. Al Pacino sat down for a wide ranging conversation Wednesday night in New York, touching on everything from his early days on The Godfather and his decision to turn down Star Wars and his views on retirement. I'll get to that story in a couple minutes. The 82-year-old actor sat down with David Rubinson, part of the 92nd Street, New York's People Who Inspire us series, for an hour long chat where he looked back on his career and revealed he is currently writing a memoir. You get to that age, you start to think, you start to do things like that. I stayed away from them, but I think I've got to start talking about certain things, Pacino said. It's fine. I have kids and all. It'd be a good idea, and I'm working on it, noting his co author was in the audience. Starting with his big break in The Godfather, Pacino was asked the crowd who had seen recent Paramount series The Offer. So anybody who's not familiar with The Offer is on Paramount Plus. It's a mobster type of series, which follows the behind the scenes of the 1972 film. I watched it, and about half of it was true. Really, that's a shock, the actor said. He recalls starting to work on The Godfather and after the first day of shooting, Diane Keaton and I got drunk and thought, this is it. Our careers are over. This is a mess. The film obviously ended up being far from a mess, going on to receive 11 Oscar nominations. Rubinson and Pacino asked if he was upset that Marlon Brando was nominated, and of course he won for it. Best Actor, while Pacino was recognized as supporting actor, though Pacino had more lines in the film. How does a story like that get out? I was upset. I wasn't upset. Are you kidding me? Pacino said, explaining that he didn't go to the ceremony that year because, quote, because of that. Let's be let's clear the air on that one. I've been hearing that I've been hearing about that up the grapevine, end quote. Rubinson also asked Pacino if he thought The Godfather 2 was superior than The Godfather. That's a conversation you can have all day long. To which the star replied, no, I don't. I think it's more, I, I really think it's more what you would call it artistic or something. I don't know. I don't mean to play it down or be overly modest, because I started with Bob De Niro, but at the same time, it's a different film, and he's right about that. You see, The Godfather is more entertaining. Godfather 2, is this just a study for Francis? Pacino said. Godfather 1, I saw it recently. It's always got two or three things that are going on in the scene. You're always in the story. You're going. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's storytelling. It's really storytelling at its best. Godfather 2 is sort of laziness, and it's kind of the different somber moves slowly. But it's a great movie, I have to say. By the way, AFI agrees because that's one of their top 100 films of all time. He also reflected on his later roles in Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, and Scarface. When asked if there were any he regretted passing on, he noted, I turned down Star Wars when he was new in the scene and being offered anything and everything to play. So I was there, and all of a sudden, They gave me a script that was called Star Wars. I said, I got the script. They offered me so much money, but I don't understand. Eventually deciding he couldn't do it for the reason he joked, I gave Harrison Ford a career, which he's never had to thank me for. After nearly 50 films, Pacino says he currently has four more on this schedule and hopes to do an adaptation of King Lear next year. That would be interesting. When Rubinson asked about retirement, the actor joked, I'm always retired. I was retired when I was 25. I mean, who cares? Please just don't call it retired. I don't want to work anymore. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't want to do it as much. I like the lead up to it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like foreplay or something. I'd like to get there and we'll see. Will I make it? Will I not make it? That kind of thing. I don't know anymore, he continued, putting his hands on his knees. I wake up in the morning, I sit at the edge of the bed like this, and I think, is it really possible that I'm going to make it through this day? And then I think, but did I say that yesterday? And did I say that the day before and the day before that? And I got through it. I said it this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you're seeing him today. So basically, I mean, it's one of those things where Pacino he can say anything and have a boatload of fun. I love Al Pacino. For me, I mean, look, if you go through his history and what he's done, he's remarkable. One of the greatest performances in my eyes is not only The Godfather, is not only Scarface, but Heat. All Day Long and Twice on Sunday. I think that's Michael Mann's master class, and he just does a fantastic, fantastic job in it. And that's why I did it for the Perfect Movie Series, which, by the way, you can go back and watch. We did that for March. But yeah, the fact that he turned down Star Wars, though, is pretty funny, because it's like, can you imagine Al Pacino as Han Solo? A young Al Pacino? I don't think so. It would have been interesting, though. It's one of those what ifs questions. I think it would have been very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I love him though. The Godfather for me it's one of the top 5 films. It really defined what a monster movie is. At the end of the day, it just turned 50 last year. It really defined what a mob movie is. If you look at any mob movie over the past 35 years, whether it's Goodfellas, whether it's The Departed, whether it's, I don't know, the Untouchables by De Palma, anything. Really, it's all predicated on The Godfather, because it's more of a saga. It's more of an epic. And I think that's when you see that, you go, wow. So, and there were rumors, so it says he has 4 projects in coming up. There's rumors, and I don't know this to be true or false. There's rumors that he is going to star in Michael Mann's Heat 2 when that comes out. That would be interesting. I mean, so anybody who's read Heat 2, and I've got the book, I'm still trying to get through it. But they all know, if you've seen Heat, you know what I'm talking about. It's interesting. I think that, I don't know if you'd be around for it, though, to be absolutely honest. I mean, they probably couldn't start filming until 2026, 2027, and he'd be like 88. So, or 86. Let's hope he hangs on that long. But yeah, I mean, those two for me, Bob De Niro and Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, are the perennial best actors. I mean, have won multiple Academy Awards, have been in multiple films that are just iconic. So, yeah. So I think the fact that he passed on Star Wars is fascinating. We're going to get to that story in just a minute. But so I guess the question is for you guys, which is a better movie? Is it The Godfather or is it The Godfather 2? Which one do you prefer and why? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and I'm going to get back to everyone.